Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a whole new episode of Full Steam Ahead. I'm your host, Zoe, with my co-host on the other side, Cantu. We were talking off air, and you were telling me about your swings. Going get some golfing lessons in the range right now. Tell me about it, man. Shoot.
Yeah, I went to I watched the movie the long game. It's pretty cool film. Right? I enjoyed it a lot. Well, I got inspired to go buy some golf clubs on offer up, and uh, now that I have my own, probably finally get to be able to practice a little bit more. So, drive game is back. I like I like the tee work is a little good. Irons need a lot more. Uh, that was a little bit more rough, so I need to go work on that. Like my back hurts just because all the irons I hit on the ground.
So basically, your chip game is still not there,
Mm-mm. Nope,
but the
not at
driver you
all.
got it going. Because last time we were talking about golf, you said
I
your
did.
driver was
It's terrible.
inconsistent. It was
Yeah,
struggling. Now it looks like you're back on track.
yeah, back on track
Look at
for
you.
sure.
Look. He's gonna be on the PGA tour someday, and I don't know
Yikes!
what day is that, but someday. I don't know. But we did talk to y'all yesterday, given the first half and now the second half predictions. Well, first series is in the book of the second half, episode 197. Astros regain first place of the American League West. They do win. Well, they did win this series against the Mariners. They've won 8 of their last 10 series. So that's pretty phenomenal for the Astros, what they've done. 52-47 record. It would have been nice for them to complete the sweep. If they would have done that, that would have been the sixth sweep of the season. But other than that, I mean, they did play great, outstanding baseball over there at T-Mobile Park, which I think that'll be the last time they'll be traveling to Seattle this season. So I think the next time the Astros and Mariners face off, it'll be back at Minute Maid Park. But other than that, Angel, I mean, it was a great series for the Astros. Starting pitching, I would say, had to be solid. Defense was really remarkable too in that game too specifically. And then the offense, of course, you're going against a team that have their starters as in Luis Castillo, George Kirby, and Brian Wu. We told you Brian Wu is kind of a sneaky starting pitcher for them, that he's been really great this season. If you're
Hmm.
going against the Seattle Mariners, you have to score more than 1, 2, or 3 runs. And obviously, the Astros only scored three the first game. The second game, they were only scoring four. And then the third game, they had to play a lot of catch up and they scored 4 runs. But other than that, I mean, really great series for them and got the series win in first place due to the percentage points.
Yeah, so the Astros get in first place, but it was a really great series, very important one, as you know. The Astros have been battling back, and it was good for the Astros to take this one because they'll meet again in September. It's the second to last series in Houston, so being able to take the one in Seattle, like that's always helpful. Kind of give you a little heads up, like a little advantage, right? Because like you saw last year, the Rangers and Astros were tied, but since the Astros won the season series, they were able to surpass the Rangers, and I hope again they'll meet one more time in September, and they got to take advantage of their next series with the struggling Athletics. The Athletics is that's the team you got to take advantage of, just like the Miami Marlins did. I think they can do that.
But the Oakland Athletics actually have been playing some good baseball as of late. I
I
mean,
don't doubt it.
they played against the Angels. I think I want to say that they beat them in that series. Shoot, they were scoring 13 runs in one of those games, I think too.
Brent Rookers, I think he's to be traded.
You think Brent Rooker? I think he will be traded. Do you think it's smart for them to trade Mason Miller though?
No, that's
You
part
think
of
not?
your young core. You know,
So you would want to build. I mean, did he
we can
start
build
off as a
around.
starting pitcher though?
I'm not sure.
I'm not 100% sure, but that's what I'm saying. Do you want to build off a guy that just closes games as a
We don't
closer?
really build on off of him, but
I
I
know
mean,
what you're
that's
talking
going to
about though,
be
like as in your young core.
yeah, like he's gonna be an
Because
important piece as they try to
exactly.
develop.
Because you still got a kid like Zach Geloff, Shea Langoliers is still smashing the ball over there. And then they just brought up a rookie
Their
too.
number one
I think they're
prospect,
number one prospect. Yeah.
Jacob Wilson or something like that. I think.
Yeah. Which interesting fact. I remember this growing up when the Pirates used to play Houston, the NL Central. Jack Wilson, shortstop for the Pirates at that time, is the father of Jacob Wilson.
Oh wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, I think he's the shortstop too, at least a middle infielder, if I'm not mistaken. But we do have a full slate on this show. Recap that Mariner series, like we said. A lot of great things to see out of the Astros in this one, including a slugger that hit for the cycle, Yordan Alvarez. Astros trade deadline talk as well. We are getting closer and closer. Last episode we talked about it. It was like a week and a half. It's getting there. So we'll have a little bit of info on that. Who's invited to the Carne Asada train station with injury news and around the horn because the National Baseball Hall of Fame has finally inducted 4 of their nominees of this class of 2024, actually. Todd Hill, Leland, and all those guys.
Well deserved for all of them.
Very well deserved. Before we get the show, hey Josh, how's it going, dude? Haven't seen him in a while. Well, obviously we haven't been talking in a while too. We've been off for a week. But let's go with the recap of that Mariners series, and we're going to start off with the starting pitching because that was one of the biggest things. If you're going to go against the Mariners, your starting pitching has to be really locked down compared to that team over there. You have to between those two.
Really low scoring series, as you can tell, pitching for both sides.
I would say with a lot of pitchers duels too in these games. At least game 1 and game 2. Game 1 was Hunter Brown. 6 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. We did talk a little bit about him on the last episode. Threw 102 pitches, 64 strikes. He does lead the Astros starting rotation with 11 quality starts. I think he has 10 of his last 11 starts have been 6 innings or more. So that's great to see out of the diesel. But Framber Valdez and Ronel Blanco are the other 2 guys that I would say pitch really well. Framber Valdez, 5 2/3, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 walks, 6 strikeouts. Of course, when you read the stat, 4 walks, that's not what you want. But he almost was pretty close to getting a quality star in the books. He did throw 100 pitches, 59 of them were strikes. The only mistake I would say for him was leaving that hanging curveball in the strike zone to Julio Rodriguez, who gave up Valdez gave up a 2-run homer to J-Rod and gave the Mariners a 2-1 lead, and Espada later on had pulled him out of the game. But other than that, Framber looked really good. And you even said in the last episode, the second half of the season, you got Framber Valdez that needs to step up and have a phenomenal kind of second half for the starting rotation because Ronel Blanco can't do it all. Hunter Brown's not going to be able to do it all. Justin Verlander's still trying to come back, and I think this is a great opportunity and a great start for Valdez in this second half.
Yeah, first start, the second half in the books. Like you said, I do a second on that. I think he did a pretty good job. I would like to see him cut down on the walks a little bit more, like 4 walks. I think if you ask Framber Valdez, although we're saying it's a good start, if you ask him, I'm sure he's gonna be. It was a terrible start, right? It's not where he would want to be, and he knows he's better than that, and we know he's better than that. So honestly, it was just one mistake. Yeah, he had 4 walks, but he was able to get out of those because of the double plays that he did get. Throwing those clutch pitches, hitting his spots. But it was just one mistake that caused this. That stopped him from getting a quality start.
Yeah, sinker was phenomenal. The off speed, like I said, that one mistake other than that hanging curveball. I mean, his curveball was really great. Like you said, he was getting the ground ball king, as we've called him, because he does induce a lot of ground ball double plays. I want to say he still leads Major League Baseball in that category, getting the ground ball double play. So great start for Valdez, La Grasa, in this outing. And then Ronel Blanco, 5 2/3, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, 6 hits and 4 earned runs, ties a career high this season. It was 3 earned runs when he got out of the game, but Seth Martinez couldn't get the job done and gave up that 3-run homer to Luke Raley, and that's what induced that earned run for him to have a total of 4 in his final stat line. 100 pitches, 65 of them were strikes. I would say in Ronel's outing in this start against the Mariners, his off speeds were kind of inconsistent, I would say. His changeups were a little bit there. The curveball as well was kind of hanging. It was just a little bit of inconsistency through his off speeds, but other than that, you're not going to have a great day. And shoot, he almost had a quality start with 3 earned runs, and he just needed another out to, qualify for that QS.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about this start. It's a roller coaster of a season when it comes, for both hitters and pitchers. I was going to say just pitchers, but not for both hitters and pitchers. Like hitters go through some slumps they have to get out of, and pitchers have bad starts they have to bounce back. And one thing we noticed about Ronel Blanco early on is his will to persevere. Again, like no one gave him a chance to start the season, pitches well. He's had a few bad starts here and there. He's been able to bounce back the next day. So again, I'm not too worried about him. It's just something to keep an eye on is to be his velocity. Just that he's in uncharted waters with innings pitch and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Like we said, the off speed and the curveball kind of wasn't there for him this start against the Mariners. But hey, you're not always going to be perfect in each and every start, especially like you said, he's in uncharted waters due to the innings he's pitched, and there could be help coming along the way when we talk about the trade deadline for Ronel. But we gotta give credit to the defense, man. Defense wins ball games, pitching wins ball games, offense wins ball games. All them type of words and phrases that you can say about baseball. Well, the defense was on display. Spectacular defense all around. From game one all the way to game three, Jeremy Pena with the off balance throw to first. It was safe at the first, but then upon review, they did call him out and got out of a critical inning that would have gave up a run. Trey Cabbage and Joey Luperfido in that eighth inning for Ryan Presley. My gosh, that was very huge for Presley, especially Trey Cabbage robbing Julio Rodriguez and right field. Honestly, dude, when I saw that ball leave Julio's bat, I did not see it as a home run. I did not think it was going to be a home
All
run.
traveled.
I thought it was like a routine fly ball over there to right, but the ball just kept carrying and carrying. And sure enough, Trey Cabbage kind of just jumped a little, threw up his glove, and at the end of the day, he kind of hit him
Hmm.
with that no fly zone tactic that Julio usually does whenever he robs or a hit from the opposing team. So Trey Cabbage showing some love there. Even Julio liked it. That's the thing I like about Julio Rodriguez is even though you kind of show him off like that, he's going to respect it no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, part of this game is if you give it, you got to take it as well. And I think Julio Rodriguez is a prime example of that. Very good sportsmanship. I mean, and it's good for the game. Like, it's like baseball. It's not like golf. You just, you know, or someone does something good, and you just like applaud. Right now, is the emotion builds up. The fans get into it, players get into it. And it's all good for the game.
Definitely. And then later on, Joey Luperfido takes an RBI and possibly, honestly, it could have been two RBIs and a hit away from Mitch Garver in left. Not Mitch. Brian McTaggart had mentioned that it was a 70% catch probability in that fly ball to left because Joey was playing a little bit more to the right side in left field, like kind of almost like in left center, but not too like on the dot over there. He was cheating a little to the right. And I mean, he went out there and put his speed on and made an incredible play over there and left. And honestly, them two catches were huge for Presley because he has a scoreless inning streak of double digits right now. I don't have the number right in front of me, but Ryan Presley in the setup role, he looked like he's gone comfortable. He's looked like he's pitched very well as of late.
Said he has a scoreless streak.
Yeah, scoreless innings. Check that out for
Yes,
me when I get this
I
last
got you.
one. And Mauricio Dubon at the end of the day to finish off the spectacular defense in this series. Dives in the outfield. He was playing left in this game, took away a line drive hit from Julio Rodriguez. Rodriguez did leave the game too. He almost made an incredible play over there on Yordan Alvarez's triple, and the ball popped out. It was his ankle, I believe. So I don't have the news on that either because we are a Nationals podcast, not Mariners. Just hopefully everything's good, nothing too serious for J Rod's injury.
Yeah. So Ryan Presley hasn't allowed a run since an unearned run since June 9th. That was the last. That was a game against the Angels, and his scoreless inning streak is 13.2 innings pitched. So I mean that's pretty phenomenal there.
Yeah, he looked like he's gotten comfortable. In the beginning of the season, we've talked about it. The back end of the bullpen was the storyline of the Astros bullpen, but it just was not working with Brian Abreu and Presley and Hader. But now it looks like them three kind of have gotten used to their roles, getting comfortable, and pitching really well.
Yeah, like I know we talked about Hunter Brown having a bounce back, season. So has Ryan Presley, like you said. And on April 6th, I know it's early on, but at that point, Ryan Presley had a 20.25 ERA. Although with relief pitchers, kind of hard to bring that ERA down because you don't pitch a lot. And he's been doing phenomenal job that he's brought his ERA back to 3.49. So that's how great he's been.
Yeah, he's been doing fantastic in that back end. Josh Hader himself, I think he's on a consecutive save streak. I think the broadcast I put it up earlier today with Billy Wagner and Brad Lidge with consecutive saves and not blowing a save. I think he's already at 20 something. I think he's at 26 saves of the season this year. But if you want to go check that out, check it out, Angel. If not, We're gonna move on. Go ahead. You got something?
No, I was gonna go back to Hunter Brown.
Go ahead.
You said yesterday that it was his 11th consecutive quality start, right?
Not consecutive.
But like in a like in a
Consecutive
season.
was the 6 innings for him pitching through 6 innings consecutively.
Oh, okay. So okay, there you go. So you know who's the Astros leader for most consecutive games pitching 6 innings or more?
In franchise history, or are we
Yeah,
talking this season?
franchise history.
It sounds like a relief pitcher. Billy Wagner.
No. Like was
As
starting
a starter.
pitchers who's thrown 6 or more innings in like consecutively in a start.
Roy Oswalt.
That is Keiko.
The Kike.
Guess. Do you want to guess that? Do you want to guess the games?
Not really, but it had to be in his 2015 AL Cy Young year.
Yeah, it was. It was 40 consecutive games.
40 consecutive games. Oh, God damn.
Pitching 6 innings or more.
And he just got released, I want to say, by
Yeah.
the Brewers recently.
I think so.
I think I saw.
I think so.
20 saves for Josh Hader this season. So I don't know the consecutive marks of the saves. I don't know, like at the top of my head. I mean, I could check real quick to see when's the last time he's blown a save. But it's been a while, I want to say, for him.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
I wouldn't even consider the one in Minnesota was a blown save because that was in a tie ball game. The Angels on June 9th.
I think the same day as Ryan Presley.
Ryan Presley, yeah, that's what it's looking like. Oh yeah, because he gave up that home run against Logan O'Hoppe. You remember in left field?
That's what it was.
When
Yeah,
Greg Cabbage had the ball in his hand.
Yeah, I do remember.
Okay, so it was that game. Other than that, I mean, both them guys, setup guy and the closer, Presley, Hader, they're looking really great in their roles now as we are past the mid part of the season. And speaking of the second half of the season, who has great numbers, it's Yordan Alvarez. We talked about in the last episode. 307. Yep. 307 in 22, 308 in 23. That was the guy that I said that was going to heat up in the second half of the season. My God, he is an all-star for a reason. The Cuban slugger did the first thing in his career, and that was hitting for the cycle. Hit a single the first time, home run the second time. The triple had happened because of Julio Rodriguez dropping the ball. He had it in his glove, but then it popped out of his glove when he went down with that injury. And then to finish it off, honestly, Angel looked kind of like he wasn't going to get it because prior to the next pitch, he hit the ball at his shin, and he was already kind of limping out of the box, taking his time. Next pitch hits the double down the right field line, and obviously goes from there, gets his first career cycle. 10th cycle in Astros franchise history. I'll give you a quiz here in a second, but Alvarez is the first Astro hit for the cycle since Jose Altuve in last year back in Boston in August. And I was at that game actually too. It was pretty cool to get to experience to see how that was for Altuve because he hadn't done that either. That was his first time in his career. But I know you have an interesting fact. I'm pretty sure not everybody knows about Alvarez in his country.
Oh yeah, so he Alvarez is the first Cuban player to hit for a cycle since 2017. Do you want to guess who that Cuban player in 2017 hit for a cycle was?
I mean, there's not a lot of Cubans in 2017. I don't think Yuli Gurriel had hit for the cycle. Is Yasiel Puig still even in the league?
I think he's like trying to make a run in the league that year.
I'll go with Yasiel Puig as a toss-up.
Former Astro Jose Abreu was the last Cuban to hit for the cycle since Yordan Alvarez did it today.
Who would have thought Jose Abreu, the last Cuban player to hit for the cycle?
Yeah. There was a time it was great. Go ahead.
Yeah, we did talk about actually, I think another Cuban. He's not from Cuba, but Cuban American. Nolan Arenado was another one that I think hit for the cycle. I don't know if it was in 17 or 2018.
It's 17 as well.
Was it 17 too?
Mm-hmm.
Would you even count that as Cuban though?
I mean, Cuban, Well, it's Cuban-born player, right? So first
Okay.
Cuban-born player too. Yeah, but I mean, count it. You can count it.
You got to give the guy some love.
Mhm.
Got to give the guy some
For
love.
sure, for sure.
Okay, now let me test you. Since 1990, the Astros had it on the broadcast earlier today. Give me the last, I think it was 7 or 8. Let me check. 7 Astros, including Alvarez today, who has hit for the cycle since 1990.
Well, Altuve did it last year.
Okay, Altuve's one,
Brandon Barnes is one. I remember seeing that game.
of course.
I remember
Okay,
seeing that
Brandon
game.
Barnes.
The rest gets a little tricky. Maybe Jeff Bagwell,
Jeff Bagwell is on the list. 2001.
Craig Biggio.
Craig Biggio's also on the list in 02.
How many do I have left?
You got 3 left.
Uh,
I
give
just
me
said one of the guys.
I said Jose Altuve.
No, you didn't. But yeah, 5.
Yes, I did. That was the first
You
one I
got
said.
2 more.
Jose Cruz.
No, Jose Cruz is not on the list.
What was the year?
I know for sure one of them you're not going to get. 1992 is one, and in 06 is the other.
1992 and 06. 06. Jason Lane, I don't know.
Ooh, that's a good one, but no, not Jason Lane. You got 5. Need 2 more.
06. Who was with the Astros in 06? Adam Everett. Morgan Innsberg.
This is your test. This is testing your Astros knowledge right now.
Morgan Innsberg now. Mark Loretta.
Nope. Nope.
Miguel Tejada. Jeff Kent.
Tejada was in 08 or 09.
Yeah.
Think. Jeff
I don't
Kent was
know.
in 04, I want to say.
I don't know.
How about Andujar Cedeno in 1992?
I was never going to get that one.
You see, I would have not gone that if you told me to. And then last but not least, the great Luke Scott.
Luke Scott.
Luke
Wow.
Scott in 2006
Wow.
hit for the cycle against the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Luke Scott. I do remember him now.
You remember Luke?
Mhm.
Other than that, I mean, that I think I would have not gone the Andujar Cedeno one. Honestly, I would have not gone that one.
Would not have.
We're born in the 97 and 98 category, not 1992.
Maybe some old school Astro, that was there.
If you
too.
knew that, you could have typed it in right now, because honestly, I would have not guessed that correctly. But like I said, what a great series for the Astros against the Mariners. Critical series, regained first place of the American League West due to percentage points. And now we're going to move on to the trade deadline talk, because the Astros and the other 29 teams are getting closer to the MLB trade deadline that's going to be happening on July 31st. And Astros GM Dana Brown was on MLB radio on Sirius XM yesterday or earlier today this morning. And this is a quote. He said, "We try to go big and see if there's a deal that makes sense for the organization. If that don't work, we'll go down to the mid-level and hopefully land something there. It doesn't hurt to ask. If we get a mid-level guy and we get Garcia, Verlander back, that will be massive for this club." Jim Bowden, I think, is one of the hosts of the radio of MLB Radio, and this is him, MLB analyst, and he's also an insider for CBS Sports. He did mention in a tweet, Dana Brown made it clear he's working hard to acquire a starting pitcher, maybe a reliever too. All right. What do you think of the Astros GM saying, we're going to go big and we're going to try to get the biggest fish out there on the market? And if that doesn't work out, hey, maybe a guy that's like a number 2 or number 3 starter in one of these rotations that, these 500, the teams that are not winning at a 500 winning percentage at the moment, maybe some of their guys can help this club. What do you think about that? Do you see them? And then he also had mentioned acquiring a starting pitcher and maybe a reliever too. Thoughts? Share your thoughts with me on Mr. Dana Brown, what he had to say.
I mean, I think he said all the right things to get the organization, the fans, the players on board of what they're trying to do. The part that I want to highlight is that it doesn't hurt to ask. And I mean, that's perfectly what they're going to do. They're going to ask around the big guys. I don't think a deal gets done with like the top top trade deadline acquisition just because more teams have more to offer, which mean like make their deals a little bit more enticing. But I'm sure Dana Brown's calling all of these all these organizations, all these guys, even if they're big names, to see just to get a feel what just to get a feel of what the waters is, right? Is there a possibility we can do something? Or they can do something? Is there a possibility they can work something out, right? But at the end of the day, I I think they'll go a little bit more with the mid level guy, maybe a Cal Quantrill or the guy from Colorado. I forgot his name. The one we talked about last time. Like
Austin Gomber.
yeah, there you go, Austin Gomber. I think names like that. Now maybe for them, first of all, pitching Colorado is difficult, and it's something that could change the scenery could be beneficial, or like maybe you see something that your pitching coach could fix, like a little tweak in mechanic, right? So even though their numbers aren't pretty, like at the moment, a guy like that can be huge to change the season around, change your second half around. So, I mean, we said all the right things. Like I said, they're gonna be testing out what the water works, see if they can strike a deal. But at the end of the day, I think they'll stick to that mid level guy.
What do you think about a reliever? He did mention maybe a reliever too. Do you look at the middle part of the bullpen? I also think I want to get your input. Do you think maybe the Astros are going to try to trade away Rafael Montero? Maybe, possibly,
I don't think so.
even though that contract too is kind of difficult to
Mhm.
trade away, especially.
Yeah, that contract makes it difficult to do anything with Rafael Montero because no team's gonna want to pick that up, honestly, unless the Astros are paying the majority of it. But I don't see Rafael Montero leaving the Astros only until his contract is up. Although he hasn't lived up to the contract, he has pitched better this season. I think he's had glimpses of greatness, but also glimpses of going back to his own self this season. But the reliever, I mean, it doesn't surprise me just because Tanner Brown is big on you can never have enough pitching, and although the bullpen has been great, like it's like again, like it hasn't started great. It's trying to fill itself into what it's destined to be, what it was meant to be on paper. But I mean, we can never add too many reinforcements. I'm saying that middle relief role just to give, like, just take the load off Taylor Scott a little bit, Seth Martinez, because again, those guys have been pitching a lot and they're not used to that as well. And, help Brian Abreu in the setup role, maybe even Ryan Presti, like give him a little bit more of a day off here and there. So, I mean, I like it. A reliever would be helpful too, just to give a little break to those guys too.
As of right now, Rafael Montero, I'm looking at his splits in monthly: 346 in April, 2 ERA in May, which is probably his best month he's pitched, a 9.45 ERA in June, and as of July, as of right now, 7.20 ERA. His last two appearances on the mound against Minnesota and against Texas, he's both given up 2 earned runs in both of those appearances. It'd be interesting too if they go after a guy, and I'm thinking maybe a reunion for the Astros and this certain player, maybe Hector Neris. Chicago Cubs right now haven't been playing great of baseball. The NL Central looks like it's going to be between the Brewers, and I think the Cardinals are in second place, if I'm not mistaken. The Reds are still right there in the hunt. I'm pretty sure the Cubs are still too, but just in case, maybe Hector Neris possibly coming back. Phil Maton's already been traded from the Rays to the Mets, and that was a good acquisition for the Miracle Mets in that part. Maybe you see a reunion. Maybe.
Yeah, could be.
But I do agree with the mid-level guy. I think, like you said, there's nothing wrong going for the big dogs out there, and it doesn't hurt to ask, like he had mentioned in his quote. But if you get a mid-level pitcher that's gonna really make an impactful appearance for this rotation, especially because we've already talked about Ronel Blanco's innings. Can you see this? Can Hunter Brown sustain the consistency of pitching at this level? How about Spencer Arrighetti? Do you see Arrighetti continuing to pitch really well through these next couple of starts? We don't know the timetable for Justin Verlander returning. Same thing as Luis Garcia and Lance McCullers Jr. So, best believe, I think, as of right now, the Astros' number one priority is going to be a starting pitcher. And getting a mid-level guy, like you were saying, maybe a Cal Quantrill. Another guy I was thinking was Eric Fetty from the Chicago White Sox. I know there's another Marlins player, Jesus Luzardo, who is dealing with an injury right now, but that one would be interesting for the Astros to make a move on. Maybe because that's going to be more than likely you're going to have to send a lot of prospects in that deal because the kid is still young. I think he still has 3 years of control or 2 years left of control on his contract. He's a really great pitcher. Velocity is really good. Great movement on his off speeds. Maybe that's another guy they could maybe go after. But the prospects I say the Astros are going to probably trade away is more than likely the number one guy is going to be Pedro Leon. I think more
Yeah.
than anything, he's showing that he's ready to be entering in the MLB. He already has a batting average over 300 this season with the Space Cowboys. And I'm pretty sure, like you were saying in the last episode, just like Corey Jokes, getting a lot more playing time. If he gets to the MLB level, I think he has a great shot of making a good career out of himself.
Yeah, he's ready for the major leagues. Honestly, he's what I think he's hit over 20 home runs already. Like you said, batting over 300. He's showing that he's grown as a player. I know there was a lot of question marks for him early on, but he's shown it. And the more he's better, the more of leverage the Astros can get to get one of these big guys. You know, it's like Eddie Astros couldn't be like, I have a guy in AAA who's ready to contribute to your team. You know, build around him. Why need this guy? You know, it's just makes his price tag a little bit more higher.
Yeah, the top 10 prospects I'm reading from number 1 all the way to number 10: Jacob Melton, Luis Bice, Bryce Matthews, Zach DeZenzo, Zach Cole, AJ Blueball, Jose Fleury, Colton Gordon, Jake Bloss, and Kennedy Corona. I don't think the Astros trade away Luis Bice. He's honestly hitting the ball really well in Asheville. I just do not see him. And plus, not just that, the guy can play infield, but right now they're marking him as an outfielder. Bryce Matthews just got drafted last year. I don't think Dana Brown doesn't touch him. Maybe Zach DeZenzo, maybe. Jose Fleury could be another one. He's a right-handed pitcher. I don't know. I think AJ Blueball, Dana Brown really has some high hopes on. Colton Gordon, the Astros, I want to say he has already made his MLB debut this season, if I'm not mistaken. Not this season, but just seasons ago. And Kennedy Corona, I don't think, man, he's an outfielder. Possibly, I would say. Possibly.
Also, Will Wagner's hitting the ball pretty good too. That could be another trade piece.
Oh, yeah. Shea Whitcomb's another guy, too, in AAA.
Mm-hmm.
So all these guys, we're saying the top 10. Like Angel said, Will Wagner's another guy that's been hitting the ball well. Shea Whitcomb's looked like a different animal in AAA. And I want to say he leads the Space Cowboys in home runs, if anything. Joshua wanted to put his input. We need a front line starting pitcher and a reliever and a first baseman, too. And he agrees with us. I don't think that Montero is tradable. Like I said,
Now,
just something to think about.
do you think the Drew Gilbert trade paid off?
I think it would have paid off if the Astros won last year.
Okay, so you still think they should have kept him?
I wouldn't say the one that I would say was Ryan Clifford. I think they should have kept him. I see
Ryan
him,
Clifford.
nothing against Drew Gilbert, but I think I see more potential in Ryan Clifford than Gilbert. Nothing against him. Gilbert's like the number 2 or number 3 prospect in the Mets farm system right now, because I think Jet Williams is number 1. But I think if the Astros won the World Series, then the deal that they did together, the Mets and the Astros, was an A+ for both sides, because Verlander came and contributed to another World Series that the Astros, could have won in 23. But then again, too, you got to think about in 24. If the Astros do win a World Series, I will say then it was the right deal to trade away Drew Gilbert and Ryan Clifford.
Yeah, Ryan Clifford right now has 51 at bats in AAA. He's hit 51 games in AAA, 212 at bats. He's hit 13 home runs, 34 RBIs. Walked 36 times, and he's walked 36 times, and yeah, that's pretty. Struck out 62. So pretty good numbers there.
Yeah, another guy that I don't think the Astros trade away is Joey Luperfido. I don't see them trading him away.
Absolutely not.
He's shown that he has all the tools and the assets that he could become one of the best players in this league.
Yeah, he did cut down on strikeouts, but obviously he's a young player. He'll adjust. But yeah, I mean, he's a really, really great potential.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and move on to the Carne Asada. And I think everybody knows it was a unanimous vote for who's going to be bringing the meat. It's going to be Yordan Alvarez. Like Lorenzo, I'll give you the stats there. Here for the cycle, 10 times it happened in Astros history since Jose Abreu injured 28 and became the first Cuban-born player to hit it since Jose Abreu. Surprising fact there. the tortillas was be coming along with that. Carne says to be Hunter Brown. He pitched 6 innings, 4 hits, 0 earned runs, 0 walk. I mean, three walks, 5 strikeouts. Again, continuing to show the improvement on the field. Really big hit. He was your comeback. He was your MVP, right? From yesterday, in the first
Yeah,
half
that was my
MVP.
first half MVP.
Yeah, and he's continuing his hot streak that he is, and he's just building up for the future. Honestly, I think earlier on you're thinking, is Hunter Brown really going to be the future for the Astros? And now he's proved you do that. Yes, he's here to he is here to pitch for seasons to come in an Astros uniform. The rise to be Yanni Diaz, 3 for 10, 1 run, 1 home run, 3 RBIs, batting 287, and joining him in the kind of says to be Jeremy Pena, 3 for 11, 2 runs, 1 home run, 2 RBIs, and batting 274. I think this game against the Mariners, it was kind of hard to pick like who's becoming for the contract. It was such a team effort. Great pitching they had on the other end, and just chipping away. Like for example, Jeremy Pena, one of his RBIs was a hit to the shortstop down the second base, slow hit, hustled it out for a run. That's things you have to do against a team with great pitching, or runs come in a premium. And the Astros were able to pull two in Seattle against the Mariners, who have really they saw Luis Castillo, they saw Miller as well. So just uh scoring runs against those guys is always good. Well, not Miller. Who pitched? It was Kirby, right? George Kirby.
George Kirby, yeah, Castillo, and Brian Wu.
Yeah. Really great.
We'll throw a little bit of dessert in there too. Shout out to Jake Myers for that 2-run homer against Ryan Stanek.
Yeah, because that was
Astro.
That was right after Julio Rodriguez's home run to take the lead too.
Yep. So we'll throw a little bit of dessert. What kind of dessert you think we're putting in this carne asada?
Oof, have you tried flan?
That was about it. Tell me why I was thinking right there and then.
Some choco flan, bro.
Choco flan.
It's really good. If you haven't tried it, go to one of your local El Bolillo's bakery and order some flan. It's pretty good.
Yeah, highly recommend. Even Yadier Diaz, honestly, when we're doing the second half predictions for like a sleeper, I was honestly on the verge of picking him as like a second half hero because he's honestly been hitting the ball really well as of late.
Yeah, I mean, he's as advertised. I mean, the Astros traded away Corey Lee, not him for a reason, because they thought he was that guy, and he's proven it to be.
Yeah, even though the home runs, how like last year I think he had 20. I want to say
24.
Yeah, 24 home runs. The power hasn't been there. This was barely his 8th home run of the season. But the RBIs, whenever there's runners in scoring position, he's done a really good job as of late in the part of June to July. And we talked about in May, his numbers weren't the best because he was starting to swing out the zone. Discipline wasn't the best, but now he's looked like a little bit better. He looks like he's adjusted and seeing the ball at a better rate.
Another walk too. Another walk today.
See, just got to get better. Just got to get better. Your first full season as the Astros starting catcher. But let's get the pitching preview out the way. At the Oakland Coliseum against the Oakland Athletics, 39-61 record. Angel, did you see the 2025 schedule release for the Astros?
I did.
Did you catch the abbreviation for the Athletics this year?
I did. It's ATH.
ATH. No OAK, no more. Which I thought they would have just put SAC at it already. I thought they would have put SAC because they're going to be playing in Sacramento.
I wonder how that's going to be. Aren't they playing in a AAA field?
I want to say so. Sacramento is the capital of California, if you didn't know that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, they got the basketball players over there with the Sacramento Kings. They just made the postseason this year for the Western Conference. For the
did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a great sports town. I'm guessing. I'm guessing, but. Like I was saying, the Oakland Athletics have been playing great baseball in the month of July, 6-4 in their last 10 games. I was counting real quick on the schedule. They have 9 wins and let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 losses. Let me double check on the wins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9-6 in July. But they did take away a series from the Philadelphia Phillies before the All-Star break. and they beat the Angels um, in their first series back of the second half. So, like I said, these guys are starting to play some good baseball. Angel, you did mention Brent Rooker's one of the guys that could be a trade candidate. He's been playing great. Shane Langoliers is another guy. You already had mentioned Brent Rooker. I meant um, Zach Geloff. I mean, they got a good young core over there. They'll
Absolutely.
be.
And
Go ahead.
but like we said before, this is a team that's going to be grinding out there, and they're not like, yeah, like the record may not show it, but they're not going to stand out and let you run over them. So they're going to be putting up a battle there.
Yeah, of course, everybody knows they are last in the AL West. Astros haven't faced Oakland since April 24 to the 26th. Actually, not April, May 24, 26. 6-1 against Oakland this season. They did sweep on the beginning of the season, and the second time around, they did win the series at home against them. Joshua already put his input. We should be able to sweep Oakland. Um, yes, I think the Astros should take care of business. They've done a great job this season against team with with the losing winning percentage. But Oakland, as like I was saying, with the numbers right now, they've been playing great baseball as of late. And the Astros are going to have Spencer Arrighetti on the mound Monday night at an 8:40 start time over there in the Bay Area with a 4.7 record, 5.63 ERA. He'll be going against Hogan Harris, 1.3, 3.40 ERA. This is some raging Cajun crime on crime. Both of these pitchers did pitch with University of Louisiana Lafayette over there down in Louisiana. But Arrighetti last start versus the Rangers, 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. He's already had 2 starts against the Oakland Athletics this year. Both of those starts he did go against going against 5 innings pitch in those innings. 10 innings, 10 hits, 5 earned runs, 5 walks, 12 strikeouts when you combine those 2 starts. And Arrighetti's cutter, the off speed being the curveball, the four seamer, that's going to be a huge play for him. I'm very interested to see how he bounces back in the second half of the season, getting that arm rested as well to build off of a second half, because in the beginning, from his first 5 starts, it wasn't the best, and he kind of got his confidence going. I'm interested to see if that confidence continues on into the second half of the season.
Yeah, the Astros are going to have to rely on Arrighetti big time to eat up some innings, especially save the bullpen arms. They've been pitching a lot, and just to kind of help out the great performances from Framber Valdez and Hunter Brown. I think he needs to add on to that. And the Seattle Mariners are going against the Angels, another struggling team too. So those are games Seattle should win. So these are games the Astros should win, so they don't lose that first place bid.
Yeah, because right now the Astros and the Mariners hold first place. Rangers are 5 games back of first place of the AL West. But Hogan Harris, on the other hand, his last start against the Phillies, 3 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 walks, no strikeouts. My gosh, 6 walks. That is the number that jumps right at you when you listen to this stat line. Last appearance against the Astros came in a relief role, 3 1/3, no hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. He does have a decent off speed, being the run value of 2. That's the 84th percentile, which is really pretty close to great when you look at StatCast. Struggles with runners in scoring position and men on base. Gives up an opponent batting average of 328. The opponent on base percentage is a 446, and the opponent slugging's around 522. When I did mention on that stat line against the Phillies, 6 walks. This guy gives up a lot of walks when he pitches, has a high walk rate. At home, it's not as drastic as being on the road. At home, it's a 329 walks per 9 innings. But being on the road, like I said, away from the Oakland Coliseum, he has a 575 walks per 9 innings. So the plate discipline is going to come at its best. I'm looking at Yainer Diaz. Like you said, he did have 1 walk in the last game of this series against the Mariners. I'm really interested to see how his discipline is going to be against the A's as well as the rest of the Astros starting lineup.
Yeah, you gotta let this guy pitch. I think sometimes something that stands out is he's only gone 3 innings since last year against Philly, and three innings against the Astros. A big part is those walks. That's the same thing you want to. That's the same thing you want to do. Get to that bullpen early for the Athletics. Make them work. Make them pitch. Make them throw strikes to you. I think the Astros should be able to go through Harris pretty easy.
Definitely. If they do that, then it's going to be a really long series for the Athletics against the Astros in these 3 games. On Tuesday, 3:10 start time, which no, it's not 3:10, 8:40 start time. Jake Bloss, 0-0 record, 4.70 ERA. He does not have a win under his belt yet. Osvaldo Bido, 1-1 record, 3.44 ERA. And Jake Bloss, last start against the Miami Marlins, 4 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. He did throw 82 pitches, 50 of them were strikes. If you did not remember, we did both tell y'all, me and Angel, that he was going to be more than likely going to be on a pitch count. It was like targeting around 75 to 80 pitches that Joe Spotter was looking at. Well, he will be making his third career start, the double major. Um, the double major. Just think about that shit. He's going to be doing this, and it is a great opportunity to get his first career win as a starting pitcher for the Astros.
I think it's doable. I think it's doable. He's going against a good, a feisty team out there. They're going to be putting so great at bats, but I think his stuff is pretty good.
He does have some good stuff. And Bido, on the other hand, last appearance versus the Angels, 1 inning pitch, 0 hits, 0 earned runs, 0 walks, and 1 strikeout under his belt. His last start, he only has 1 start this season. His last start, you got to go back to May 8th against the Texas Rangers. 2 2/3, 3 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. He has yet to face the Astros this season. He does have a 5 pitch arsenal, being a 4-seam fastball, averages about 93 to 95 miles per hour. You got the slider, cutter, sinker, changeup. When you're going to see the changeup, it's mostly going to be thrown to lefties. The ratio on that number is 3 to the right-handed batters, while 36 to left-handed batters. So, if anything, guys like John Singleton, as well as Yordan Alvarez, are going to be aware of the changeup. But looking at those numbers, Angel, and just even continuing on from Hogan Harris, if the Astros could get to Harris and Bido quickly, then, like I was saying, it's going to be a long series for the Athletics going into Game 3, because I'll go ahead and just throw that game in there. Wednesday, 2:37 start time. Hunter Brown, 8.6 record, 4.14 ERA. The Athletics doesn't even have a starting pitcher going for Wednesday's game yet.
And then Bido looks like a bullpen game too. Like, he's only pitched 1 inning. I think the most he's pitched, I'm looking at stats right now. He's actually pitched 5 innings, but he didn't even start that game. He pitched from the 2nd inning to the 7th inning, pitched 5 innings there. Then finished. Then after that, he came into the 4th inning, finished the game, pitched 4.2 innings there. But other than that, it's been one inning, and I think he hasn't started any other games from there.
Yeah, so if the Astros bats can go against Harris in that first game, continue on the second game against Bido, and then, like I said, the third game, the Athletics don't even have a starter announced yet, which I think the Athletics, too, have been dealing with a lot of starting pitchers with injuries this season. Paul Blackburn, for sure. JP Sears is another one. If I don't know about JP Sears in the top of my head, but Blackburn, he's been injured. But Brown, to give you the numbers, we already told about the stat against the Mariners. He has yet to face Oakland this year. Career versus Oakland, though, 4 starts, 2.0 record, 1.88 ERA. He's only given up 5 earned runs in those 4 starts with 30 strikeouts.
Wow.
So this is a great game for him to continue that 6 innings pitch, and as well could honestly knock in another quality start in his book, making it 12.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a tune-up start for Hunter Brown again. Just being able to do what he did against Seattle, he should be good.
Yeah, this series is, like I said, I don't think you should take this series light because of the Oakland Athletics record. They've been playing great balls in the month of July, but you got to take care of business. Take care of business against a team like this. Like you were saying, Angel, too, the Mariners are going to go in against the Angels, who haven't been playing a great baseball, too. You got to take care of business, and then you can stay on track if you want to be in first place of this division and pull ahead and make those teams go further down in the rankings.
Absolutely. The Mariners will be facing Tyler Anderson on Monday. So, again, like you said, it's a big series for the Astros on Monday game. Spencer getting to do what he got to do, take advantage of Hogan Harris. And Tyler Anderson's been pitching great. Like you said, like the Astros fans saw that Seattle Mariners struggle to score runs. I think Tyler Anderson can limit them, potentially win the game. The Astros need to handle the business.
That's all-star Tyler Anderson for you, Angel.
Yeah, absolutely. All-star Tyler Anderson. There you go. You know, I think we're moving kind of fast. Now that we're at the train station, again, there wasn't really much update for these guys, just like we told you last time. And since we recorded yesterday, it wasn't, it hasn't been too much of an update. But Kyle Tucker on Saturday, Tucker did some intensive defensive drills. That was announced after we were done recording. Like, 10 minutes after we're done recording. And Sunday, Tucker was fielding grounders in the outfield. So it looks like he's almost ready. Again, we talked about yesterday, that big hurdle's running. He did run today, but I think he's on the verge of coming back. I have to give him like maybe a week and a half. Should
I
be back in
think
the Astros.
I would say August. That's
Mhm.
where I'm kind of targeting Kyle Tucker to come back in the first week of August. I would say.
Yeah, so like a week and a half. I think it should be good. Justin Verlander threw 40 pitches in a bullpen, which is promising. Like getting that number higher for a bullpen is really good. Uh, like because it could only go up from there. Luis Garcia threw 15 pitches in the bullpen. That was a little more concerning for me, just because it's only 15 pitches. Uh, there was really no updated how he felt after, but I'm sure he felt great. And it's just more rehab starts for him. And then Victor Caratini on Sunday. Caratini will start at catcher today, which is Sunday, and DH. Wait, sorry, catcher on Saturday and then DH Sunday at Corpus Christi before joining the Astros in Oakland. So Caratini should be back. I think Cesar Salazar gets uh the odd man out on that one just because the Astros are not going to carry three catchers. But Victor Caratini has been providing phenomenal offense as well. He looked good in Double A. He's really, I think he's ready to come back too.
Yeah, you want to know the last time Justin Verlander pitched?
Tell me.
Got to go back to June 9. June 9 against.
It's the Angels. We just talked about that.
Was it the Angels?
Yeah, because June 9th.
It was. Yeah.
Mhm.
June 9 has been a number on this podcast.
3 times already.
Yep. Presley, Hader, and now putting JV on the map. But Joshua, he's ready to see Tucker come back, Angel. He's ready to see the King and put up a performance, I guess, at the King's court over there, right?
Oh yeah, I think this is the starting point, and that streak of being able to come back and be in first place again really is phenomenal. Just like we talked about earlier, all the injuries they had to overcome, and Caratini, Justin Verlander for neck discomfort is kind of crazy for me that he's been out this long. Like when I heard that, like neck discomfort, I was like maybe a start or two, but not since June 9th.
God damn them pillows.
Gotta
get a Tempur-Pedic or something.
Absolutely. You know what? Just pack your pillow with you. The one you have at home.
It maybe it's like when they're on the road. You know how when you're traveling on the airplanes, you gotta take that kind of like Pac-Man looking pillow.
The neck pillow.
Yeah, the neck pillow. I think he just needs to pack a regular pillow from home.
Yeah, absolutely. And then from around the horn, like Lorenzo mentioned earlier, Jim Leland, Todd Helton, Joe Mauer. I've always remembered that the video game opening. Well played, Mauer. Remember that?
Yeah.
Adrian Beltre were all indicted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. All of them very much deserved it. I'm sure Billy Wagner and the Astros are hoping that he gets in next year, and I'm sure he would. He was 3-5 votes away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's possible, but those guys deserved it. Todd Helton did, Joe Mauer did, and Adrian Beltre, Jim Leland as well. And so, round of applause to those guys.
Yeah, if you haven't checked out that Billy Wagner episode that we did, that was basically in the off season.
Mm-hmm.
It was really good to hear from him and his thoughts. Just not even away from baseball, just now what he's doing now as a head coach over there in high school baseball. So if you haven't checked that video, make sure you go check it out. We have it out there on our YouTube channel, and hopefully we could get him back in the off season too. Talk about through life and all that stuff.
Absolutely, that'd be pretty much great.
But that is the end of our show. Episode 197 is in the books. Continue to follow us on our social media platforms from TikTok to X to Instagram. Angel, on Instagram, we're getting close to 1,000 followers, dude.
There we go.
1,000 followers. So if you have yet to go on Instagram and follow us, if you're looking on Twitter right now, make sure you go to our Instagram, FSA Full Steam Ahead. Check out all the content from the All-Star game as well as the content that we'll be putting out soon from the videos from these games, as well with interviews with players.
Might have a college player here soon. We're trying to get into work there, former Aggie. So I mean, just keep listening. Pretty great things, big things. Like I always say, big things coming.
Yes, as well as on TikTok, we're on there. If you're on X right now, which majority of our audience is on X watching this video, make sure you go to YouTube and subscribe to our channel. Hit that like button on our last video, of course, as well. Probably be doing a little giveaway here sooner than later, just for the fact that July is about to end, and we just came back from. Well, I just came back from the All-Star game. Have a little bit of goodies I can give out to the fans of our show. And as well, go to our podcast platforms, so Spotify to Apple Podcasts. Angel, anything else before we sign off?
No, just thank you for listening. Thank you for sticking to us the entire hour. We're taking an hour out of your day to be here with us, and we appreciate our support, love, and appreciate y'all.
I think this is the first time we've been under an hour for a while. So
yeah,
shout out to us doing the video yesterday of the first half and all that stuff. Getting some things out of the way. But lastly, Joshua, great episode as always. You guys are the best. Appreciate the love, Josh, and appreciate everybody else, like Angel said, taking their time out of their day to listen to us. Great crowd tonight. Make sure y'all start off the week strong. Have a happy Monday. And of course, we'll give you that recap against the Oakland Athletics. Astros do have an off day on Thursday, and we'll give you that preview against the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yeah.
The Dodgers will be coming to Houston, Texas since 2021, I want to say. Either 21 or 22.
That's about right.
Yeah, so be ready for that matchup. Until then, y'all have a blessed week. Have a great week.
Peace.